Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Trades Talk with me, Pop. This is your industrial stream on the Tuesday. So we usually do a little bit of looking into the news of the week, see what's going on out there out in industry, and then I'll read a few articles and finally finish off with some pictures, maybe some videos about any of the projects I've been involved with. But before we get to all that, I just want to say hello to you, David Glenn. Good to see you. David's like the best wrench I've had. Working hard in the chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, David, picture time. I know you like picture time. But like I say, we'll start off with the news. We'll see what's going on out there. It's going to be a lot of, probably a lot of alarmist chatter out there from all the tariffs and all that. Let's have a look here. We'll go to the Plant Magazine. And there it is right there. Trump's latest tariff plans on steel, aluminum, and other imports are spreading uncertainty. Well, we'll see about that. Don't forget, I've told you guys before, this is a lot of fear-mongering. There's a lot of, they're making a mountain out of a molehill. So we'll see what they say. President Donald Trump plans to, on February 10th, formally announce 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum imports as part of an aggressive effort to remake the existing terms of world trade that so far has compounded economic uncertainty. We'll see about that. Yep, clutching at pearls. You're right, David. Trump also intends this week to reset U.S. taxes on all imports to match the same levels charged by other countries, all of which comes on top of the 10% tariffs he already put on China. China's retaliatory tariffs that started on Monday, and the U.S. tariffs planned for Canada and Mexico that have been suspended until March the 1st. All of this carries inflation risks at a moment when voters are already weary of high prices and fearful that price increases will eclipse any income gains. Trump maintains that the tariffs will level the playing field in international trade and make U.S. factories more competitive, such that any pain felt by consumers and businesses would eventually be worthwhile. Yeah, Godzilla. Fairness in tariffs? Oh, the horror. Yeah. How you doing, Godzilla? Good to see you. Fairness is in the eye of the beholder, but the more fundamental question is whether the U.S. can actually benefit from such new tariffs. Ben Steele, Director of International Economics at the Council on Foreign Relations, a New York-based nonpartisan think tank, said in an email the costs to the U.S. will include higher prices to U.S. consumers, retaliatory tariffs abroad, and the loss of U.S. jobs and competitiveness in firms hit by higher input costs. These guys are just a think tank, though. That they don't have any solid evidence for this. They're guessing. Style noted that other countries are already adopting Trump's approach from his first term as the president imposes tariffs on the premise that the imports create national security risks. That's because national security-related tariffs are legally unchallengeable at the World Trade Organization, meaning that so far Trump's approach has encouraged other countries to increase trade barriers. Not surprisingly, everything from door frames to alcoholic beverages have of late been subject to new import barriers in the developing world on the grounds of national security, Style said. The same shields saying tariffs are bad are the ones saying that USAID funding was all good. Oh, yeah, those guys. Yeah, so don't pay attention to them. They obviously they have their own interests at heart, not really gonna try to work for the common man. The White House has yet to fully counter economic analysis showing that tariffs would hurt growth and intensify inflation, only saying that such analyses are incomplete without including the full extent of Trump's planned income tax cuts and regulatory curbs. But Trump has yet to propose a budget plan that would flesh out his policies so that economists can judge them. Consumers already appear to be anticipating that inflation will become a bigger problem. On Friday, the preliminary February results from the University of Michigan survey of consumers found that year-ahead inflation expectations jumped from or jumped to 4.3% from 3.3% a month prior. The government inflation report scheduled to be released on Wednesday is expected by economists to show consumer prices rising at 2.8%, which would suggest that the public sees tariffs as a major risk to their financial well-being. The stock prices of steel companies climbed sharply on Monday as investors assumed the tariffs would increase their profits. Cleveland-Cliffs, which wants to buy Pittsburgh's U.S. Steel, rose 13% in morning trading. U.S. Steel climbed 4%. Nucor increased almost 6%. And Steel Dynamics rose about 5%. But companies that rely on steel and aluminum saw their share prices decrease, since tariffs mean that the cost of their raw materials could increase. For example, shares in automaker General Motors sold off, which could ultimately signal trouble for a manufacturing sector that Trump has promised to revive. This article makes your head hurt. Inflation is the devaluing of fiat currency. How does tariffs do that? Yeah, no, I get it, Godzillionaire. Inflation is, from what I've learned, inflation is an increase in the pool of money you have. So it dilutes the buying power of your money. So you really don't want inflation, even though they got idiots telling you that it's good. They're like, oh yeah, inflation is good. We need inflation. No, you don't. You don't need inflation. That is bad. It waters down your pool of money that you have, and which makes it you have to use more to buy the same amount of goods that you did before. So yeah, it's ridiculous. We have far more steel and aluminum consuming businesses, think construction, machinery, and equipment manufacturing, auto manufacturing, than we do steel and aluminum producers. So the advantage created for the producers comes at a much greater cost to downstream users, said Erica York, Vice President of Federal Tax Policy at the Right-Leaning Tax Foundation. What's up, Fabric? How you doing, man? On a scale of 1 to Kyoka Uzin's pouty lips, how late are you? Oh, we're just starting our first news item, so you're not that late at all. Still, it's hard to know exactly what Trump would do with his tariff plans. The U.S. president told reporters aboard Air Force One on Sunday as they went to the Super Bowl, any steel coming into the United States is going to have a 25% tariff. From the perspective of trade experts, that the blunt remark was unclear. Would the tariffs be in addition to the 25% tariffs that he placed on the metals in 2018? Would they also be on top of the 25% tariffs that then President Joe Biden put on Chinese steel and aluminum in 2024? Or would the 25% tariff simply be a universal tax going forward, as exemptions or exceptions and workarounds have meant that much of the steel being imported by the United States avoids existing tariffs? Those were the kinds of unknowns that even supporters of tariffs were trying to understand on Monday morning, said Scott Paul, president of the Alliance of American Manufacturing, a partnership between manufacturers and the United Steelworkers Union. Paul sees tariffs as likely being helpful for the domestic steel and aluminum manufacturing, but he added, the details are going to matter a lot. Only Keynesian economists think inflation is good. Everyone else has a... You got that right, Fabric. Damn straight. Yeah, it's just more fear-mongering. I'm not going to worry about it. Let's see. What else we got here? The fact that Keynesian economists run the country is... Yes. Yeah. I agree, Godzilla. What happened to the good old Austrian economists? They seem to make more sense to me when I learned about them. But yeah, Keynesian spending your way out of anything is stupid, and that's what they believe in. Here we go. Canada's business groups call for government action against steel and aluminum tariffs. Oh, and don't take to heart too many of those fools you see on Twitter, especially Canadian ones that are yapping it up about how they're gonna make the U.S. pay and all this and retaliate. Just ignore them. They're not. They are mentally challenged. So. The Austrians got a bad rap after the 1940s. Ew, yeah. That wasn't so good. Canada's business advocacy groups are calling for government action following promised American tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to levy 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum imports to his country beginning March the 12th. Canadian Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Candice Lang said in a statement the move is wrong on so many levels. But why? Why is it wrong? Explain to us. Today's news makes it clear that perpetual uncertainty is here to stay. Perpetual uncertainty. I don't know about that. Businesses and investors already feel on shaky ground with the 30-day tariff pause, and now our steel and aluminum industries, critical to the shared success of both American and Canadian economies, are first into the fire. A similar sentiment was echoed by Toronto Region Board of Trade President and CEO Gilles Gerchon, who said in a statement immediate action must be taken to shore up our economy and Canada's economic sovereignty. Fun fact, your beef distributor is Harmony out of St. Albert, and you buy your medicine in Canada as well. If there's a tariff, I'd be paying it to the tune of $506 per cow if you do sell during... Oh, man! Harmony out of St. Albert. Like, seriously, like St. Albert, Alberta? Like, that's where you get it from? Because that's about an hour away from me. That's crazy. Crazy that it's like right around town here. Gerson's statement included a to-do list from Toronto Regional Board of Trade for the Canadian government in response to tariffs, with one item being to impose counter-tariffs on the U.S. in order to protect Canadian steel and aluminum business' home market. Another point on the list called for broad and sweeping reform in an effort to launch as well as accelerate national energy and critical mineral projects. If we're going to be forced to go it alone with our largest trading partner and trusted ally, we urgently need an efficient national economy that reflects the true scale of a top 10 global economy rather than the current costly fragmentation. The Aluminum Association Canada says U.S. tariffs will hurt U.S. jobs and U.S. industries, including defense, automotive, construction, and housing. At a time when you want to keep the price of everyday goods down and ensure good American manufacturing jobs, a tariff will only drive prices higher, hurting Americans in their pocketbooks and undermining the agenda the U.S. government says it wants to achieve, Association Chief Executive Jean Simard said in a statement. Oh, it is in Alberta. That's awesome, Faber. Hey, Horace, how you doing? Good to see ya. It's almost as if Kanakastani's goods benefit you as well. They probably do. And with the way our dollar is, you're probably getting a good deal. Buying your stuff in Canada. At a time when you want to keep... Data from the U.S. National Trade Administration shows the United States is Canada's largest market for aluminum, with over 3 million tons exported to the U.S. last year. BMO economist Robert Kavachik says Canada's total steel and aluminum exports to the U.S. last year were $35 billion, or roughly 1% of GDP. We can drill further and look at where steel and aluminum U.S. export exposure is greatest, and no surprise, that is Quebec and Ontario. And the euro is at parity with the dollar. Okay. It used to be a little bit more from what I remember in past histories, but yeah, so it's finally evened up. And I don't know if you guys heard, but Prime Minister Numbskull here, that moron, he's like, oh, we have to do something to deal with the Americans. Make sure you buy Canadian. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is made here anymore, you idiot? Is anything we need made here anymore? Like, the guy needs a good slap up the side of the head. Let's not talk about how much you save buying medicine for your practice. Yeah, okay, don't worry, Fabric. I mean, it's all about tariffs here on this this website, the news. So I'm not gonna waste too much of my breath with tariffs. You know, he was president before. He's president again. Like, this isn't anything new. Everybody should just calm down. And he said he wasn't going to impose tariffs if we helped secure the border from illegal migrants and drugs. So let's do that. Like, you know, stop funneling money to your buddies, Trudeau. Stop funneling money to your buddies and take some of that money and put it into border patrol, border security. Do that. Put it in there so that people can't ship drugs across the border anymore. But we all know he won't do that. Chill the F out of what everyone needs to do. Exactly, David. You got it. Just chill out. Like, okay. When does Pierre Polytechnic get in? You like that guy? I believe no, I'm not 100% sure, but I think October is when we're going to have our election. So we'll see. He's gotta do something. If he's willing to get rid of the carbon tax, he's got my vote. Because that pretty much is just a tax on everything you breathe, and you can't fight climate change by throwing money at it. It doesn't work. First of all, you can't fight climate at all. And secondly, taxing people to death doesn't stop doesn't stop their supposed climate change. And I say it's supposed because I don't believe it for a second. To be honest, you'd rather pay more for stuff you buy than just get a huge chunk of your money taken for a slush fund and pay high prices. Yes, that's a good point, Godzilla. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, this is that's that carbon tax. It's like they take money away from people, they charge it everybody, and then they give them back a little pittance. Oh, look, it's a carbon rebate. No, you know what? Don't take it from me in the first place. Take my money to make the climate gooder. Yeah. Hey, it's DJ Ronnie G. What's up, DJ? Just getting home? Or did you take the day off again, huh? All right, let's move along to another article. I fought climate and climate won. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You can't. What are they gonna do? What have they done? Nothing. They've done nothing. And anything they try doesn't work anyway. It's winter, we're fighting climate. Yeah, I'm fighting it by turning up my thermostat and keeping warm. Okay, here is an article. This is from Make It Right. I think it's from Mike Holmes. I think this is his website. Shortage of skilled tradespeople. Well, I'm going to say it's shortage of skilled tradesmen, because that's just how I am. What can we do about it? Why is there a skilled trade shortage? You just got back from the mines? You got back from the mines, eh? The Wupstutzkin mines? You're so fat that you don't work in the mine, you work in the mines, plural. Oh, I see where you went there. So first thing they say here is, where are all the tradesmen? When I was in school, I took shop, welding, sheet metal, and carpentry. I think it was a huge mistake taking these classes out of our schools. If you don't expose the younger generation to these skilled trades, how will they know it's a viable career option? They haven't done nothing. They're bilking working class Canadians out of their hard-earned money. Yeah, we are taxed freaking so high here. It's just disgusting, the amount that we get taxed. And that's how they keep us in place. You can't afford to take a day off to protest or anything like that, because then you're going to not be able to make your payments. So it's ridiculous up here, and I hate it. The growing demand for the skilled trades The demand for skilled workers is only expected to grow in the coming years. That means more choices and opportunities for people who choose to pursue a career in the trades. I did a podcast on this topic and had great discussion with a builder and my son, Mike Jr. The Homes on Home podcast, Shortage in the Skilled Trades, Part 1. Mike Holmes dives deep into one of the most crucial issues in the construction industry today, the shortage of skilled tradesmen. Does no one want to work anymore? Are parents discouraging their kids to join the trades? I would think nowadays parents are just happy to get their kids out of the house, to stop living with them. It's like, go, okay? Get out of the house. Stop living here. Yes, Godzilla, they just freeze your bank accounts if you protest. I'm all kinds of disgusted about that. That should not be allowed. It's you're airing your opinion, and you should not be punished for your opinion. They've been shorting the trades for years, and now there's a shortage. We've been telling them for this for decades. Yes, Fabric. Yep. I was hearing that when I was going to trade school in the 90s. In the early 90s, I was told by my instructor, all the old boomers are going to retire. You're going to be able to pick and choose which job you want to work for. You'll just be able to quit a job one day and work the next. That's what we were told. They're not even boomerang kids anymore. They never leave. Exactly. That's right, Godzillionaire. The parents can't even get the kids to leave the house. By the way, DJ, Aris hopes you find some gold or jewels in those mines. Why were shop classes pulled out of schools? Mike shares his insights on the growing gap and why it's critical to fill it. He also discusses how we can encourage young people to pursue careers in trades, the importance of training, and the role of mentorship in developing the next generation of skilled workers. In Part 2, Mike Holmes dives into one of the most pressing issues facing the construction and trade industries today, the ongoing shortage of skilled tradesmen. Mike Holmes and contractor's son, Mike Holmes Jr., explore the causes of this shortage in the skilled trades and the consequences. Whether you're a contractor or tradesman or simply interested in the future of the construction industry, this episode provides valuable insights you won't want to miss. Plot twist, DJ Ron G is really Yukon Cornelius from the Rudolph the... Yahoo! Nothing. I'm looking for silver. Silver and gold. Gold and silver. Is there really a shortage in the skilled trades? More than 245,000 construction workers were expected to retire by 2032, creating a shortfall of just over 61,000 workers. Recent data from Stats Canada indicate that while Canada leads the G7 as the most educated workforce because of its large share of college and university graduates, the number of working age, 25 to 64 years, apprenticeship certificate holders has stagnated or fallen in critical fields such as construction, mechanic and repair technologies, and precision production. The CUF also caused record declines in trade registrations and certifications, which have yet to recover. This could lead to significant gaps in the supply and demand for journeymen in the future, further worsening the potential labor shortage in the skilled trades. And here we have a demographic chart. Oh, I thought it was going to make it bigger, but never mind. And we can see how the demographics are. 65 or older. The orange is 2016, the blue is 2021. This is how many of the people are in the trades. Oh, and here, I'm in this one here, the 45 to 54. And it's getting lower. Oh, and the 55 to 64 is getting lower. And yeah, so that's the distribution of people in the trades. And it's getting lower for the 15 to 24s, it's lower in 2021. You think the reason for shop classes being pulled out of school was a combo of liberals completely taking over education and insurance making it prohibitive? It could have something to do maybe with insurance, but it's the fact that you can't make, you don't want to make students too useful, right? You don't want them learning any kind of skills that are practical. So that might be part of it too. Also, maybe cost. Maybe they didn't want to pay for, anything that is too expensive. Most college education, those sociology and gender studies majors can't fix your plumbing, though. No, they cannot. They can't even fix their own. So, the time to care was 15 years ago, and they can't immigrant their way out of this one. That's true, Fabric. I agree 100%. You can't just bring in a bunch of people. First of all, you have to vet them. Because I've worked with guys from other countries who have lied about having a skilled trades ticket. They just lie. They're like, oh yeah, in my country, yep, I was this. And it's like, you lie. Your workmanship shows me that you have no skill. So you lied. And they're getting paid journeyman rate. And I had to actually go to school and get my education and everything like that. But this guy can just lie and come over and get paid more than me, for all his supposed tickets. So I'm a little bitter about that. An independent man is hard to control. Yes, sir, you're 100% right. Try to be as self-sufficient as you can. Try to take care of yourself, because you should not rely on the government to take care of you. Only people who are stupid and lazy want that. And you don't want that, because then you have to do what they say. You are not free then. You got to figure OSHA is to blame too. The cost to make a classroom OSHA compliant is probably astronomical. Yeah, they have a bunch of stupid rules that if you just taught people common sense and taught them, the proper way to do things, that, you wouldn't have to put idiot strings on everything. Appreciate you guys coming in, all of you guys, spending your time with me here on a Tuesday night. This is your industrial stream. I hope you enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, please, hey, slap that like button for me, will you? It helps out, makes it so that YouTube knows you guys like it, and will hopefully recommend me to more people rather than burying me in the ground like they so often do. Why is there a shortage in the skilled trades? Personally, I believe it comes down to these factors. Okay, this ought to be good. We'll see what they say. Parents and educators are encouraging students to become lawyers, doctors, and engineers. There is no longer a push for young kids to consider a career in the skilled trades. The only reason that parents want them to become doctors, lawyers, and engineers is because they make lots of money. Tradesmen can make lots of money too, but they don't know that. There's a stigma associated with the skilled trades, that the trades are a fallback career. The sentiment seems to be, if you dropped out of school, you should consider a career in the trades. Not anymore. I don't think so. It doesn't do anything, makes things worse. There's a stigma associated with the skilled trades. No, okay, I read that. The retirement of the baby boomer generation is leaving a huge gap in the workforce. Fewer young people are entering the trades to replace them. Okay. Women are underrepresented in the workforce. Construction has long been male-dominated field, and women should be encouraged to explore this industry. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. They don't want to. They don't care. There's a very few of them that do want to, but the majority of women don't want to go out and get dirty doing these jobs, and some of them can't because they're not strong enough. It's physically demanding. They don't want to do it. Stop trying to push women into jobs they don't want to do. Too many people don't see the prestige in honest work. Yeah, exactly, Faber. Put in an honest day's work. Build something. Repair something. You can look at you look at your kids after and be like, hey, son, look, I built that. I put that together. That thing's running now. Inspiring the next generation of skilled trades workers. I strongly believe we need to address the stigma in the skilled trades. Inspiring and supporting the next generation of skilled workers is crucial. We need to change societal perceptions about trade careers. This includes parents, teachers, and guidance counselors. Many young people are encouraged to pursue a 4-year college degree. That also gets you into debt. So anytime they're pushing you into college, it's debt. No one wants to come home with swamp ass and smelling like rotar. Yeah, fabric. Exactly. And they don't need to. Hey, Infinite, how you doing, man? Hope you're having a good day today. We're just going over this article here, talking about, it's by Mike Holmes, actually, and he was talking about what can we do about the shortage of being the skilled tradesman out there. And so he's writing up about it. We're just going over it a little bit. Guys, don't forget, I remember I tell you guys about Infinite Metals too. He's on Kick and Twitch, and he does awesome streaming with some retro games, and he's got his dragon buddy, Skelly, who mocks and ridicules him, and that's a fun time. You know, you want to get a good laugh, you watch yourself some Infinite Metal. Where did I leave off here? Many are encouraged to pursue a 4-year college degree with limited exposure to the value and benefits of skilled trades. We need to talk about a career in the trades as rewarding and lucrative, and it can be. I can, you know, I can speak from experience. You know, even going through as an apprentice. You know, where some of my high school buddies, they went out, got jobs right away. They didn't do trade school or anything, and you know, after my second year, I was making more than them, and it's guaranteed to go up for the next 2 years until you make journeyman rate. So, like, you're always, once you're in apprenticeship, you get a raise of 10% every year that you complete school. So it's a very good and it's a very lucrative pay that you can get. You know, even working non-union. When you work union, you got a collective bargaining agreement. And that boosts your pay up even higher to what the other companies are paying around your area. So, yeah. Local schools and career centers can play a significant role in exposing students to the skilled trades at an early age. Organizations such as Jill of All Trades, Skills Canada, and many others provide hands-on experience, training programs, and career fairs that emphasize the opportunities within skilled trades. And I would definitely, if you're interested in that, going to a career fair and just bringing a bunch of resumes with you to hand out. That's great too. And you can talk to, there should be people there in the trades that you can talk to if you're interested in doing one of the many skilled trades that are out there. There's like 140 of them that you to choose from, and all sorts of things: bricklaying, appliance repair, all the way, you know, to drilling. Heavy equipment technician, industrial mechanic, all that kind of stuff. To welding, electrician, plumbing, HVAC. I talk to you guys about those all the time. You definitely want to have, you know, HVAC. That's a great one to do. You're always busy. In winter, everybody wants to be warm. In summer, everybody wants to be cool. Additionally, we should invest in expanding apprenticeships and vocational programs. By offering more apprenticeship opportunities, businesses can ensure that workers are trained with the right skills while earning a steady income. Vocational programs should also evolve to incorporate modern technology and innovation methods, something that will be attractive to the younger generation. The thing is, you can do that. You can have your modern technology, but when you get out onto the real world and the job site, not every company is going to have top-of-the-line stuff. In fact, things are going to be very old, and you're going to have to try to limp them along because companies don't want to spend money. I also want to see our government and industry leaders developing policies that make skilled trades careers more attractive. This can include incentives for training programs, tax benefits for companies offering apprenticeships, and funding for technical education. And when it comes to retention, the work culture is important. Providing ongoing training, benefits, and opportunities for growth can encourage retention and reduce turnover in the field. Yeah, so I got offered to do some vibration analysis courses my plant manager wants me to take, and also what was it? What are those things called? Thermal imaging. He wants me to take some courses for thermal imaging, so we can do that. So there is always, and if you're willing to learn and you show that you need it, usually a manager should be open to paying for your training, so it'll benefit the company. And it's always good on your resume as well. Get as much training as you can. I always tell you guys, get as much training as you can. Vibration analysis. Yep, shaking all right. You got her, Godzillionaire. On the real job site, trouble lights have drill holes. Yes. Yeah, they do, Fabric. I'm glad you remember that. You get a kick out of that, eh? It's great. This one is from Connecticut. Lawmakers consider skilled trades hiring reforms. So they're actually getting the lawmakers involved. I don't know if any of you guys are near Connecticut. Whether they're going to do anything or whether they have trouble with their skilled tradesmen. But we'll see. State lawmakers are considering much-needed reforms to apprenticeship hiring ratios in the skilled trades. The General Assembly's Commerce Committee is planning a public hearing on HB 6786 designed to address the labor shortage in the skilled trades and expand hiring opportunities. Okay. Introduced by Representative Jill Berry, the bill conforms the current apprenticeship hiring ratio 3 journeyman to 1 apprentice to the job site ratio of 1 to 1. Okay, I think 3 journeymen to 1 apprentice? Man, I think it's different here. I'd have to double check, but it was like you can have 1 journeyman for 3 apprentices. I thought that's what they had here. But 1 to 1 is good. If they really want to do it, it should be 1 to 2. They should have 1 journeyman for every 2 apprentices. Current state law requires 1 journeyman or contractor on site for each apprentice across all registered apprenticeship trades. However, for the electrical, plumbing, heating, piping, and cooling trades, Connecticut mandates a different, more restrictive apprenticeship hiring ratio. For example, the hiring ratio starts at 1 to 1 for the first 3 apprentices, but scales to a 3 to 1 ratio, creating higher restrictions for companies across those 5 skills. Oh, okay. They kind of shot themselves in the foot with that one. Oh, and tonight, this is for you, Infinite. I'm drinking some raspberry lemon tea. Very, very good. If you find it out there, it's the Twinnings brand. Raspberry lemon tea. HB 6786 aligns with one of CBIA's 2025 Reimagine Connecticut policy solutions, which are supported by a bipartisan group of 73 legislators and designed to address the state's labor shortage and grow career opportunities. Yeah, you love some raspberry tea? There you go. The bill is supported by a number of organizations, including CBIA, Home Builders and Remodelers, Association of Connecticut, and Independent Electrical Contractors of New England, Connecticut, Heating and Cooling Contractors Association, Associated Builders and Contractors of Connecticut, and the National Federation of Independent Businesses. Supporters highlight 4 major benefits of reforming apprenticeship hiring ratios. Number 1, housing development and availability. Connecticut's housing shortage. Expanding the skilled trades workforce speeds up residential and commercial construction and accelerates housing development, leading to improved availability that will attract businesses and residents. A more robust workforce also supports affordable housing projects, helping alleviate cost pressures. The U.S. is going to try and immigrant their way out of the shortage with the H-2B visa and try to import tradesmen. It's going to be a crap tsunami. It might be. You never know. Like I say, you got to vet those guys. Because I've worked with guys that have lied about being in their trade, and it shows, and that's dangerous. You ever seen the Polymatters video from last year, how college broke the labor market? Feels like you'd like it. Hey, I don't remember seeing that, but it would probably be a good watch. And on my channel, and I have talked about going to college and getting a 4-year degree is no good because you end up with so much debt. And it's unreal the amount of debt. You're not supposed to come out of learning with so much debt. Whereas if you went to trade school, you come out with zero debt and you have your skills ready to go and you can be hired right on the job. And most kids that go to college don't get hired in what they majored for anyway. Don't you mean cheap, expendable labor? I mean, if that might be how it goes down there. I think the rules are a little looser down in the U.S. than they are up here in Canada. It's not a super anti-college video, but it does try to take a serious look at what led to the overemphasis on college in the U.S. at least. Yeah. See, I was even told that when I was going to school here in Canada, in high school, we were told, well, you have to take French until grade 11 because you need French to get into university. And they were pushing university like crazy. Oh, yeah, you want to go to university. You want to go to university. You want to go to university. That's all we heard. And I didn't end up going to university. I went to trade school. And I was much better for it. I came out the other end, no student debt. And it took me about 2 years, and I was an apprentice. And I was on my way. So, yeah, the push where it came from, well, first of all, it's got to be the universities and colleges themselves. They're going to be pushing it, and they're probably going to tell the high schools to do it as well. They might give them a little kickback because, the tuition is so much in college and university that they can afford that. And so they'll tell the high schools, yeah, push kids towards the university and college route rather than trade school. Depends on what you learn. If you have debt, doctor is okay. You can see that. Okay. Yeah, because doctors earn so much. But what else are they taking in college? I don't know if they're taking that, lawyers, doctors, and whatever else they teach them in college and university. Science stuff. I know there's gender studies and everything like that, and philosophy, psychology, all that kind of stuff. Number 2 on this list is workforce development. Restrictive ratios discourage and hinder businesses from hiring apprentices, limiting opportunities for young people to enter the trades and increasing the skills gap. Allowing businesses to hire more apprentices provides greater exposure and training opportunities for young workers, helping address the growing demand for skilled tradesmen and reducing the reliance on out-of-state labor. Number 3, license and registration fees. Restrictive hiring ratios limit the number of apprentices that businesses can hire, directly capping apprenticeship and license registration fees, resulting in lower revenues collected by the state. Number 4, income tax revenue. Restrictive ratios reduce workforce entry of apprentices, slowing their progression to higher paying journeyman roles. A larger skilled workforce enables more projects to be undertaken simultaneously, increasing overall state GDP and tax revenues. Connecticut is at a crossroads when it comes to housing development, workforce development, and upgrading our infrastructure and energy reliability system, said CBI's Paul Amarone. Reforming hiring ratios is one of the most effective and immediate actions policymakers can take to ensure that building a skilled trades workforce and keeping up with housing infrastructure and energy reliability needs and upgrades. So come on, Connecticut, get with it. Do what you got to do to get your tradesmen trained up. Well, all right. That is that. That's it for the articles, I should say. It's picture time. It's picture time. Everybody likes picture time. And as you can see by the title of the stream, what's a canned pump? I'm pretty sure Godzillionaire knows what a canned pump is. But if he doesn't, I'd be very surprised. Let me know, Godzillionaire. Do you know what a canned pump is? I heard you can get a degree in Taylor Swift's music. How is that going to help you in a paper? You can't be serious. There's not a degree for Taylor Swift's music, is there? Taylor Swift School for the Deaf. I saw she got booed at the Super Bowl. Did you guys see that? I was like, wow. People are not liking T-Swift. You do know what a can pump. I thought so. If anyone would. All right, let's have a look here. We'll close this. You might take that degree just to have. It's pretty easy, right? Right, Ars? Just listen to Taylor Swift music. Oh, yeah. It's really good. Okay. Just do this. So, Durko problem is fixed, Godzilla. Yes. You gotcha, buddy. New pump's been ordered. And it's going to be the right size. We just have to make a spool piece to go between the discharge and where it connects to, so that's no big deal. Just make up a spool piece, and it'll be all fine. $22,000 for a new pump. Who knows? It might give you time with her too, Ars. Jeez. You have no idea? You buy your pumps bottled? Well, here we go. This is a can pump. This is made by Teikoku. They call it a chem pump. It is a completely enclosed and sealed pump. As you can see, there is no place for the mechanical seal or any kind of packing or anything like that. The liquid comes in here, and it goes out the top. And the inside has a stator and an armature, and it runs like it's like a motor that runs with the liquid running through it. It's pretty neat. I'll show you guys. There it is from the end views. It's very rusty because this jacket here condenses. It has chilled water running through it to keep it running cool. So there's a lot of condensation on it all the time. Yeah, that's a lot of lime. No, that's just rust, David. That's what you called your high school girlfriend? Spool. Spool piece. Yeah, I took pictures from each side. And this way I can remember how to put it back together too. Just in case. In case I get pulled away for another job. Most of the time it's just considered disposable pumps. No sense in trying to rebuild. Yeah, but this time I wanted to. We had a rebuild kit, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to rebuild this thing. It's not ruined yet. So I thought I would do it and we needed to have a spare kicking around. So I rebuilt it, and now we have a spare. Okay, and there's the armature. Sits inside. There's the impeller. There's the end part with the graphite bearing and the gasket that goes on the very end. This piece here is this piece here. Those lines are liquid. Yeah, these are liquid, Godzillionaire. You can see they're connected to the discharge. So this is a hydrogen sulfide pump. Tell from the pump we have hard water. So yes, this is hydrogen sulfide. Liquid hydrogen sulfide gets pumped through here. And then through here, through these bigger ones, this is chilled water or cooling water. And it cools this down. There's the volute, right? You can see this is where the impeller sits and the work gets done, right? It spins in here and then it spins it so it spits it out, the discharge there. There's what it looks like. This is the jacket that goes on the pump, right? So you can see there's this gasket here that sits in here on the outside. And this keeps the liquid in. but it also just lets it circulate around here, keeping the pump cool, and it also cools the lines that are in here for the hydrogen sulfide. So it's got dual purpose, keeps the pump cool and also condenses the hot gas. That's the front or the back end of the behind the impeller. And it's got this graphite bearing had to be replaced. So that was pretty easily done. There's the base. This is all before I cleaned it. I didn't get pictures after I cleaned it, but I took a needle scaler to clean all this rust off. And that helped a lot. Helped clean it up a bit. There's another shot. This is of the body. So this is where the rotor sits. The rotor sits down in here. There's another shot of it from this angle. This is where the electrical is connected. So this is like a motor that the armature sits in. If you guys know, like motors, they have an armature and a rotor, or a stator. They have an armature and a stator. So the liquid surrounds the actual armature when it goes in here. You'll see it better. I'll bring up there's a video of it too. There's another shot of the pieces as it's apart. Not a lot of pieces to this thing. Not a lot at all. The back end cap, right? The impeller, the armature, the body. There's. This is unrelated though. This picture here, this is of a pressure relief valve. The bellows inside the pressure relief valve, they got destroyed or they broke or something happened and the product was leaking. Hydrogen sulfide started leaking to atmosphere. And that is a big no-no. So we had that happen and we had to really isolate this thing. And I had to go under air in I used an SCBA, which is self-contained breathing apparatus, like the firefighters use, right? Put on your cylinder, you put on your face mask, and I go in under air to change this out with a new one. So I did that. Just got shots of it to show the reliability engineer what it looked like before it got cleaned up and rebuilt. It had to be sent away for rebuild. That was the exhaust, and I believe this is the intake, the inside of it, right there. All PRVs have a smaller intake than they do exhaust. And there's another shot of it there. So yeah, that's a pressure relief valve, not part of the canned pump. And that'll be another story. Okay, so this is what so I told you before it was called Teikoku. And it is a G series pump, and this is what they look like when they're brand new. As you can see. Nicely. I got to use my spacesuit. You got her, Fabric. You got her. I didn't even use up all the air, so that's good too. Some guys will use up, we have hour-long bottles, like 60-minute bottles, and some guys will use that up right away. And you got to just control your breathing when you're working under air, just so you don't go through it all. And yeah, making sure you do the job quick enough. But yeah, it was it's just a typical day, right? I'm not surprised when I have to go in under air to do things. And we take all precautions, of course, because you don't want people dying on the job. That's just not good. And if I die on the job, my wife will kill me. So I don't want that. So here you go. Here's the inner workings of this pump and how it's going to work here. Hermetically canned motor pump. You feel like you have to suit up just to go outside in this cold weather? Yeah, we all do. It was nicer today. It was only minus 15 or 16 when I got to work, so that was nice. Let's have a look here, though. Can you guys hear the audio okay? Is it
The motor pump
is
is
good?
filled through the suction nozzle. The fluid spreads in the pump as well as in the motor compartment and pushes the air through the discharge nozzle. During or shortly after filling, potential air pockets at the rear of the motor compartment and in the area of the impeller and bearings are vented out of the pressure nozzle.
You see how the liquid goes through everything though? Like it comes in, it gets to the impeller, but then it keeps going, and it goes to where the motor stator is. So you can see right here, this is the wound copper, the copper windings that will make this thing spin. So it's a motor and pump all in itself. It doesn't require any couplings or anything like that. The whole thing is immersed in the fluid that you're pumping.
The hermetic canned motor pump is self-venting. Then the level sensor at the pressure nozzle signals readiness for start. The motor accelerates within seconds to the rated speed. The partial current is diverted at the impeller into the high pressure area and used to cool the motor and lubricate the hydrodynamic slide bearings. This partial flow runs through the hollow bored shaft at the end of the motor and back to the pressure side. The auxiliary impeller is used to overcome pressure loss and enables pumping liquefied gases with an extremely steep vapor pressure curve. The hermetic canned motor pump works with hydrodynamic bearings in continuous operation, wear and maintenance free. When filled with fluid, this low noise and low vibration pump offers double protection against leakage.
So the most important thing is that this thing doesn't leak. There's fluids that you don't want to leak to atmosphere. You don't want them getting on the ground. You don't want them coming out under any circumstance. And that's the most important things that these pumps are used for. Being hermetically sealed and not letting anything leak to atmosphere, because most stuff is either deadly or it's going to be environmental disaster. All that sort of stuff. That's why the first really nice spring day feels like getting out of jail this time of year. You almost forget what warm. Yes. And for us up here, that day is sometimes May. Like the month of May rolls around and it's like, wow, there's still snow on the ground. And then a week later, gone. Warm. So it happened like that last year. We'll see what happens this year, but yeah, we're usually waiting a long time before everything is back to nice and green. Okay, that was Letterly Hermetic, not Teikoku, but same idea. And yeah. Have I seen a mag drive pump? They're similar in principle. Okay, I don't think so, Godzillionaire, but then again, I could be wrong. Mag drive pump. This one's nice and short. Viking pump. I've heard of Viking before. Mag drive pump. Okay.
On the earliest pump designs, the rotating shafts were sealed with compressed shaft packing, limiting the rate of leakage, but failing to completely contain the liquid within the pump. While there have been many advancements in dynamic seal technology, magnet-driven, or mag drive pumps, offer a sealless alternative. At the core of a mag drive pump is the magnetic coupling. Here, there are two assemblies that contain an equal number of magnets with alternating poles.
Okay.
The first inner magnet assembly connects directly to the pump shaft.
Be gone, bot!
Outer magnet
Got
assembly
her, Fabric.
is driven by the motor. The attraction of opposing polarity magnets align the inner and outer magnet assemblies, which in turn enables the rotating outer magnet to transmit its rotation to the inner magnet and the pump shaft assembly.
Okay, that's neat.
This then rotates the pump internals, creating flow. A containment shell, called a canister, fits around the inner magnet, keeping the liquid inside the pump without the use of a dynamic seal like packing. Sealless mag drive pumps offer the highest level of liquid containment and are favored in applications that are difficult to seal, pose environmental or health risks, or where the longest possible seal life is desired.
That's a beefy pump there, that one. That sucker's huge. I like this pump because I can actually lift it onto the bench myself. It's not that big. Heavy though, still heavy, but still I can at least manhandle it on there if I need to. Sealless, but your motor and power end are separate, so if your motor goes out, you can swap it out. Yeah, there you go. Surprisingly, we don't have a lot of trouble with motors. Our motors last pretty good. Yeah, it's the pumps themselves that usually go. You can pretty much find almost anything on here if you're looking at machinery, pumps, all that kind of stuff. There's our buddy Punkwaddle. Penguin Positivity. Don't forget, give him a watch. I really like his positivity. It's infectious. It's rubs off on you. What else do we got here? Yeah, I think that was it. Showed you guys picture. Yeah, such as top 5 gaming waifus. Yeah. Good old nerdy Neo, eh? Top 5 gaming waifus. That inquiring minds want to know, right? Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up there, fellas. It was a good, that was pretty good. I'm glad you guys showed up. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button, right? Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you spread the word. Let them know old Pop's here. Tuesday nights, I'll be here, barring any overtime. But I just want to thank David Glenn. Thanks for coming out, David. You're an awesome wrench. I appreciate it. Godzillionaire, Fabric Folds, Aris. It's always good to see you guys. Don't forget to check out Aris too. I see he's got some streaming going on on YouTube and such. And don't forget DJ Ronnie G. Good old DJ. You like Turtles Tech and Astronomy? You go check out DJ Ronnie G. Monday show on Thursday for him. Who else showed up? Infinite Metal, of course. Infinite Metal. It's always good to see you, man. I like watching your show. You make it very entertaining. So yeah, don't forget. And there's other channels too, eh? Check out some of these guys, like Pacific 4 and 4, and Brandon the Anime Guy, Carl at the RNG Podcast, Tomby, Angry Canadian, Nerdpoil Lifeform, Punkwaddle, and said Punkwaddle, and don't forget Infinite Metal. Coming up, guys, Saturday, Retro Game Day. I am deep into it. I'm up to my neck in battling the Big Five on Yu-Gi-Oh! If you can believe it. I finally made some progress, and I'm now have to take on the Big Five. Aris has a new VTuber character. Oh! I didn't know that. Thanks for putting that up there, DJ. Sounds a bit sniffly. Take some airborne. Okay, Fabric. Yeah, I will. I'll make sure. This is darn weather. The VTuber was created by our own Homer LC. Oh yeah, L. Yeah. I watch L from time to time, but most of the time, L is streaming the same time I am, so it makes it hard to watch. Throw out all the links for everybody. Thanks for the stream. Hey, you know what? I'm glad to do it. You guys are the reason I come by and do these streams. You know, if you guys find it interesting, and I'm glad to talk to you guys. You know, we talk about the industrial stuff out there. It's pretty awesome. You know, makes me feel good. Let me know that you guys like the stream. And speaking of which, coming up after Saturday will be Sunday Anime Chat. That is time travel. You want to watch time travel animes? I got the animes for you. We can watch them, check them out. Maybe you guys will be interested to watch them as well. And we'll all have a good time. We'll catch up on the anime news of the week. All that good stuff. We'll talk about our favorite waifus, because hey, that's what we do. That's one of the better things. Talk about your favorite waifu. Make night great again. Mga. Yeah, you got her, DJ. Make sure you guys tune in to DJ Ronnie G. He's always good. He's got his Monday show on a Thursday. And then we circle around again right next week. More Trades Talk next Tuesday. I'll try to have more pictures, more videos, more great industrial topics for you guys. We can all sit down, have a good time. Don't fall for the fear-mongering. Don't fall for all this stuff about everybody crying about tariffs and all that. It's all going to work out okay. We're going to be all right. Don't you guys worry. And don't pay attention to those idiots that are screaming and crying about it on Twitter. You know, concentrate on what's important in your life, taking care of yourself and your family. You know, do that kind of stuff. There's more important things to worry about than who's right on Twitter or who's winning the war on Twitter. Family, friends, yourself, your health, that's more important. Take care of that first. Okay, so I think I'm done preaching. Like I say, it was really fun. I had fun tonight, you guys. I hope you did too. And remember, this is your industrial stream, so I hope to see you guys the next time. Or the week on the weeks coming up. Until then, you guys, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.